Well, you asked for it, and you got it. This is the official debriefing clip.
Oh, alright.
This is Sunday, Super Bowl, Sunday, February 7th.
Wait, what day is it?
Sunday, my dudes! It's 9:04 p.m., and we're back in Lilburn, Georgia.
Yep.
Well, this is what you wanted. This is what you got.
So funny.
What?
What you just did, I wish I got that on video.
I don't remember what it was. We're back at my gracious parents' home. Mm-hmm. Making a classic. In fact, I need to grease a pan, if you know what I'm saying. I'm going to make some broccoli mac with sprouts and avocado. Sort of a higher tier, higher brow, certainly more expensive version of a favorite classic.
We got Annie's.
Classic favorite. We did get Annie's.
We got Annie.
White shell
Have you ever seen that? Mm-mm. What's it called? Annie?
Annie?
The movie? Or the Broadway musical?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Low loved that.
I didn't. But I saw it.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your
we just spent 5 hours in the car.
That tomorrow
no
there'll be sun.
You sound like that guy at the McDonald's.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Stop.
Anyway. Sorry. This is my last beer I'm going to be having for a while.
Oh yeah. Kenneth's sobering up, thank God.
No more
Can't
violence.
deal with this anymore.
No more violence. No more off the cuff, racially charged jokes.
No more forgetting what you said to me.
I don't want a stick fence, and I don't want retarded dogs. That's probably still true.
For you?
I'm just joking.
Don't
I'm joking,
break my
baby.
heart
I'm
again.
joking. Well, you know the tent's still out. It's still out in its
No.
position.
But man, what a day.
Yeah, so, I mean, not really much to say, honestly.
I mean, but honestly, a lot to say.
Oh, this is also a debriefing. So this is not only just what we did today and a little bit of yesterday, but this is also sort of
Overview of the trip.
a therapeutic downloading of...
Yeah, because we need, like, counseling after the Florida trip. Therapy.
Yeah,
So we're going to give it
to ourselves.
to ourselves.
Well, I am a licensed bachelor of the arts in psychology.
Well,
I have been known to be there, quote unquote, for people in their times of need. And so if I can...
and you just sit there with a blank face and no emotions as they spill their deepest secrets and their heart's longings to you, and you're like, well, get over it.
I think people honestly, in my experience, and maybe this is just because I think OCD is on the autism spectrum. Someone can check me on that. But I feel like when I have had to talk to people who are emotional, that I didn't make emotional, because people who I've made emotional, I can't help them. What are you looking at? Our tan difference?
Yeah, I feel like I'm tanner than you.
You should be, because I really didn't.
You wore long sleeves the whole time.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, just to say, ouch. Yeah, I feel like people, when I have talked to people who were unhappy, and I wasn't the source of their unhappiness, I felt that my approach was actually very effective in getting them to...
Yeah, no, you're great. Everyone knows it.
Well, that sounds very dismissive and slightly sarcastic.
It's not. I mean it with my whole heart. Anyways. We just got here.
Yeah, just briefly ago.
Yep. Keep talking. Dead space.
Allie's working on number 2, y'all. And I don't mean... she's on her second beer. Can you believe it? We were awoken last night, early morning.
Oh my God.
I don't even know if we've talked about... I think we did.
We did, because you talked about how you thought they were going to get into our
Yes, so the bros came
Bro,
home.
what's the code?
Kelly, I will fuck you if you give me the code. He's talking to a male Kelly. Kelly?
Kevin.
Kyle.
Kyle.
Kyle is like an anagram of Kelly, minus one Y. Anyway,
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
What?
Well, yeah, so we actually did find out today that the house that was adjoining our... Alright, just turn it off.
Turn it off?
Yeah, because we can... The broccoli's going to take like 20 minutes.
Yeah, no.
I just wanted to get it hot. God,
Anyway.
you're interrupting my story.
Well, this is some real stuff.
Cooking with Kenneth. Turn off the water, god damn it. Alright, so the house that was adjoining our Airbnb turned out to also be an Airbnb that was occupied by approximately 4 to 5 bros. Like hardcore dude bros.
Yeah.
That love to go to the bar and come back at 3 o'clock in the morning and stomp around the house and talk at the top of their lungs about how amazing their burger is.
Did you try that burger, dude? Best burger!
3 o'clock to approximately 4:30, I was awake because I could not fall asleep because they were talking so loud and I was so mad at them. Mm-hmm. I mean, like at that point we didn't know it was an Airbnb. And
we had suspicions.
We had suspicions, but either way, it was very rude. Maybe they didn't even know we were there. It didn't matter. They were all drunk and really super loud. Yeah. Which was annoying. Both nights.
Before we got there too, probably.
Yeah, man.
They were from Tennessee. They were chilling. And
they were having a dude's
They were having a hoedown brodown. And this morning one of them thanked me for letting them stay there. And I was like, oh, I'm not the owner.
And he's like, oh, what?
Bro.
I totally didn't know that, dude. Whatever, bye.
He apologized if they were a little loud.
Oh, really?
I was like, no, it's fine.
Well, I mean, there's nothing that we would have done about it.
No, it was already, they'd already stopped.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, we're not the type of people to go and like knock on the door and be like, quiet down. So
yeah,
I just laid there in bed. You went back to sleep, like ASAP. And I just laid there and was listening to them talk about their favorite burger in the world. Which was actually pretty comical, but I didn't sleep very well. But it didn't matter because we woke up, we got some classic McDonald's breakfast.
The last one that we
well, yeah, I guess. We won't eat McDonald's a lot. I mean, we don't
What are we going to have tomorrow, though?
Eggs. And
From where, though?
rolls. The fucking kitchen.
McDonald's kitchen?
McDonald's.
But yeah,
we had McDonald's breakfast and it was great, per usual. Mm-hmm. Would recommend, honestly. Like, if you don't get the nasty, gross stuff, like the McGriddles and like all of the meats that they serve and anything else that they have on their menu besides Egg McMuffins, it's a very like hearty, nutritious breakfast.
Yeah.
And for athletes like us, it's well deserved. It's a nice little treat.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we had a huge 4-mile bike ride to go get the U-Haul.
Yep.
Slight bit of drama there. I think it was good that you didn't go in with me because I think you would have been a little upset because they didn't actually have our U-Haul in the place. They were able to give us an upgrade from a 10-foot to a 15-foot for the same price, but apparently the person who was supposed to be arriving to bring back the car that we were going to use didn't show up. And I told them. And there was a bunch of young people working there, and I actually felt kind of comforted by that in a way, because I was like, it's nice that there's not a bunch of like fucking old people here, because I feel like these guys know how to use computers, they know how the system
they
works.
know how to like problem solve.
Yeah, they know how to problem solve in a modern context.
Right.
So they were like,
and they understand the needs of the customer, and they're not just going to leave them hanging.
Yeah.
Not saying that like old people would do that, but they would be like, I don't know how to enter a
I think
vehicle
there's a way
length
on my computer box to make this work.
I might have to charge you like $400 extra for an upgrade, but that's okay, right?
You were flexible on your departure date. But
no, it all worked out.
Yeah,
you were in there for like 20 minutes though.
I know, because they were trying to figure out what was happening, and there was
but also the bike ride there, we went through like the slums of Pensacola. Yeah. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. And that's all we really saw of Pensacola, so don't really like that place.
No, it's on par with what you'd expect.
Yeah. But it was crazy. We went past like a dirt bike track that was right behind some mobile home, aka garbage dumps. And fortunately no dogs, because that was like what I was really afraid of.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
Like 5 huge ass pit bulls would just run out from underneath someone's house.
It seemed like
and
the kind of
chase you.
place, for sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't happen, so
Nope.
that was nice.
We were too blessed to stress.
You know it. Back on bikes on those roads. No stress for me.
Thank you.
But yeah, we got the U-Haul, and then we got in it, and we were like, wow, can't believe this is real.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a very surreal experience.
And then where we go, babe?
We went to Pensacola Beach.
We went to Fort Pickens.
Fort Pickens. We drove there, and it was obviously like a, I don't even know, 40-mile detour
Yeah.
to go, like,
Yeah.
north, east,
It was
south, and then west, like a complete circle to get to Fort Pickens because of the Pensacola Bay Bridge being out, which everyone already knows about.
Yeah.
And
If you're listening
it's not
along.
a big deal when you're in a car, obviously.
No. Yeah, it's a bit of an inconvenience because you are going to get wherever you're going a little later. But it was cathartic to be on some of the same roads, like 90, 98, 87, I guess, at some point.
Say traumatic.
Yeah, well.
Not really, though. It was kind of fun. We were like, oh yeah, we passed that shop.
Yeah.
I remember this intersection.
This bike lane sucked. Mm-hmm.
And
But
then we went to Fort Pickens.
Yeah. So we were able to do a 1.8 mile bike ride and out and back to the Florida Trail Terminus, which...
Also, we got in for free because of our
yeah.
National Park Pass. It was $25
Yeah.
for a car and $15 for a pedestrian or bicycle.
Yeah, we would have had
Which
to pay...
is absurd.
I mean, we have the
Just
park
to
pass.
it's like a 20-mile beachfront park. It's crazy.
It seems rude. I know people are always like, well, you're giving to the national
U.S. government.
parks.
Why wouldn't you want to do that if you don't give enough already?
I mean, don't they get some of the portions of our taxes? I mean, aren't these things already paid for? Like,
I
why?
don't know.
Well, I'm just spitballing ideas of why it seems weird. I mean,
It's absurd. Either way, especially like pedestrians and bicycles.
yeah,
They should not charge people.
they have no impact on it. Like, aside from
And
the fact that they're going to use
The
all the
fucking
facilities
national
and-
parks that we went to out west too.
Yeah.
Remember, like Yellowstone with
Yeah.
Athena? They were like, "Oh, we only allow 3 cyclists. Someone's gonna have to pay." And we were kind of like, "Please, though." And they're like, "Whatever."
That's an interesting way of phrasing what happened, but yeah, that was yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's close enough to the truth. None of us
But-
had to pay, so it did work out that way.
Turns out Gulf Island National Seashore is not breathtaking like the Grand Tetons or
No.
Yellowstone. We were actually kind of underwhelmed. The sand was white. The ocean was there. There was a fort
The ocean was
that
there.
had some significance to some old people that are interested in history, but we didn't care about it.
We read no signs. We carried no favor. We curried no favor. Yeah, we were in and out. We really just wanted that picture of the terminus, which is kind of irrelevant to have done, but
It's like a symbol of completion.
it's a bookend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We were at the southern one. We had to go to the northern one.
and we did.
And
I
we
mean,
did. And we
sure.
actually couldn't find it for a while.
Yeah, it was, speaking of underwhelming, yeah, I mean, the
We
terminus,
biked right past it and didn't even know.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because I guess the trail starts before the northern terminus appears, but it's kind of weird because there's like a portion of the trail, which is like probably 0.1, where there were actually blazes leading to it,
Yeah.
but if you were on trail, you would have to keep walking after the terminus on the technical trail.
Right.
So it's
like,
a weird placement for
The
it.
AT is so like symbolic.
Yeah,
Like you
you
get to
you
you
know
do the approach
exactly.
trail. It's a blue blaze. You get to the Springer Mountain and there's like the trail sign. There's your first white blaze.
First
there's
white
like
blaze.
the triple blaze of like the start of the trail, and you're like, wow, there it is. But we totally just biked past it and didn't even know and saw the
Hardly-
blazes.
yeah.
We ended up like biking back and forth 2 or 3 times to try to find it.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, I think I saw a big rock back there that had a sign on it. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
So we went back and took some pictures.
And it was.
And it was the
Yeah.
northern terminus. And it said, Big Cypress, 1,300 miles south.
And we
We were
laughed.
like, damn.
We laughed. We were like, more like 936 if you take a train and ride a bike.
NBD.
Yeah, and take a car. So yeah, I mean, I think my Instagram post is going to be like, made it all the way here and didn't even cheat or something like that.
Lol.
While I'm right next to our bikes and then we drove there.
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny because we were planning on doing the 20-mile out and back.
I'm really glad we didn't because it's 9:18 right now too.
I know.
That it would be like 10:30.
There was a headwind. There was no shoulder. It would have been exactly this. I mean, the speed limit was 25, but you weren't even going 25. You're going like 40. So it would have been a terrible road, and it's covered in sand, and it would have sucked. So we parked at a parking lot that was like 0.8 miles away to the terminus.
Yeah.
And then just biked on the Florida Trail to complete our through hike.
Kind of were hoping that maybe we'd see some through hikers there that we could like do a little bit of trail magic for. At least take them somewhere. But none were there.
Of course.
Because
no one hikes the Florida Trail because it sucks.
Except for those solemn soldiers sauntering in the silent suck. The 4 S's.
No, but for real, like, any through hike is an accomplishment, and good for those people for going through the most terrible National Scenic Trail, which actually was interesting. Did you see that sign that the Florida Trail is one of 11 National Scenic Trails in America? So, 2 checked off the list.
Kind of. With an asterisk after the Florida Trail.
But who cares? No one cares.
No one cares. It doesn't matter. And, we probably don't need to really do a summation of the trail because we've already talked about it at length.
Yeah.
Every single day, more or less. There's over 40 clips and probably close to as many hours that we've talked about. Well, there's probably 20 hours, 24 maybe, of the Florida Trail that we've talked about.
But it was a crazy adventure. Definitely the weirdest we've had.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of bad times, but there were some good times. Like, we loved the springs.
Yeah.
We loved
meeting
the birds.
People.
We loved people.
Yeah.
The 3 that we met.
We had zero trail magic. Well, no, I mean there were a few water caches. I don't know if you consider that's like essential.
That's like survivability.
We did have there were 2 oranges that we ate. That was kind of like trail magic
from an orange grove.
Presumably,
Florida orange grove.
Yeah, they probably
unless they bought them at the grocery store.
I think they probably did. Although we did walk along orange groves after seeing the oranges.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yeah,
we learned what anhingas were.
Yeah. Anhingas, for sure.
That big cypress is the best habitat for air plants and cypress trees.
Totally.
We were there in 30-year record high water flooding times.
Highly recommend watching Matt Hanks' videos and Boppet. Shout out to Boppet and all the boys she's with. I don't remember their names, or at least their trail names. The Real McCoy or something like that.
The coolest of the cool.
Yeah, the fastest of the fast, that's for sure.
Yep.
And Allie made a good point because we were watching a bunch of Boppet videos last night. And when we were, I think the first night on the canals, after my uncles dropped us off, we had these 2 hikers hike past us at like 4:30 in the morning. And
it was after we were awake. I think it was like 6:30 or something.
It was dark though.
Light.
Yeah. Well, okay. It was twilight in the morning or whatever. Yeah. It was like opposite dawn. It was dawn. But they had already been out, so
yeah.
I mean,
who knows where they came from? Could have been like 15 miles back. Because they're crazy. They wake up at like 4 o'clock every morning.
Yeah.
And go to bed at like 10.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's no way they can sustain that, so I hope they're ready for a huge crash at some point.
They're doing,
unless they're super athletes.
I think
great
they're
for them. I love them.
I think that they were both doing the ECT.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I need to subscribe to her videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was a very weird experience. We've said several times, we didn't really through hike the Florida Trail, but we did travel through Florida, and we did get
the entirety of Florida.
Yeah,
like
more so
Key
than
West
most.
To Pensacola. Like, definitely missed out on like the northeast corner, but who even knows what's over there and who cares?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we traveled the entire length of Florida. And
the
hopped
stats
on
were
the
cool.
Florida Trail every once and then, just like
once and then, yeah.
We enjoyed it, but it was so weird.
It was very strange.
I don't like Florida or the Florida Trail,
but
I will never return to it.
Well, we were going to.
Well, yeah, but like
in a different capacity,
almost in a vacation type, but more just to help those sorry souls that are still out there walking the Florida Trail.
Yeah,
which looks horrible. We're watching these videos of these people, and they're like, well. Another road walk, another swamp. Look at this giant puddle of cow shit that I have to walk through.
And drink from.
No, my feet.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. It's terrible. But if those certain people that are on the Florida Trail with the intent of doing the ECT, I'm really excited for them to get to the really good part, which is the AT.
Yeah.
Maybe the Pinhoti. Maybe that's a cool trail. I don't even know.
I have no idea what kind of spirit these people will have once they get that far in.
Yeah, right?
The Alabama Road Walk sounds like that's going to be a fluke. Because that's longer than the Keys, obviously, by about 70 miles. So that's another week of road walking. And, I mean...
We went through Alabama, too, on our
today
drive home today.
Yeah, we did.
I don't even know how long. We went up to Montgomery,
mm-hmm.
so we traveled, like, almost the entire length, and the whole time we were just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Alabama has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
No offense, but I really don't like the South.
It's going to be interesting following Matt along, because I feel like he's pretty locked in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hasn't cheated at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's out there by himself, primarily. And, I've talked about trying to find that wall of, like, my endurance and my spirit. The guy who gave me my trail name, Atlas, he famously said to me that you need 3 things to successfully through hike. You need your physical, your mental, and your spiritual to all be in line. And I think the ECT is probably the ultimate, test of those 3 elements that you really need to succeed in your goal. So
do you feel sad that we're not doing it? Or,
not really.
A little jealous of the people that are?
No, because...
How do you really feel about it?
I enjoy the biking part a lot, and I would enjoy continuing to bike something. So I'll be interested to see what we do next with it still being winter and our secret plans to do some other things in some winter weather, and then trying to chase the warmth south. And, my whole thought about our relationship is that, I'm in a position where, I have the backing to go and do some stuff that I wouldn't otherwise do.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're a good, sort of beacon or, lighthouse that's sort of giving me a sense of direction. Because I don't really know what I would do by myself. And I don't really like to... I enjoy being around people, and I enjoy not being solo, because I think it goes back to your tattoo, the happiness is only real when shared.
Yeah.
I mean...
And we're best friends.
Yeah.
So,
hiking partners.
Together. Yeah.
But it's also, I just think when you do stuff completely alone, it kind of makes the experience a little bit more empty, obviously. And I feel like for something to feel worthwhile and, worth doing, it almost goes back to a biblical verse where... God says, where 2 or more are gathered in my name, there I am. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like for you to do something that feels like it's worth doing, you need at least one other person for it to feel like a registered, unless you're doing something like a vlog or a blog or a podcast, those are the things that I think really sort of immortalize the experience. Otherwise, it just kind of goes into the ether and doesn't really amount to much. So...
That's for sure. All of those accomplishments, I mean, even for people that do it together, like us, those accomplishments don't really mean anything in any way. I mean, nothing means anything.
No, it's the only way I can make myself feel special, though, I think. Because I don't have any other overarching talents or abilities.
I'm looking at your hair.
Oh, what does it look like?
There's, some cute little strands that are sticking up.
Yeah, you're looking at it a lot. Appreciate that. They say, I think Robert said, or someone said, just be glad you have hair. Someone said, maybe it was Eddie. I think it was Eddie.
Well,
shout out to Eddie Pipkin.
For real.
The unbeknownst trail angel that he is.
Yeah, we got the ultimate trail magic from them.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But yeah, it's been, so we started on the 30th of December. It's the 7th of February.
Wow.
What a wild and crazy journey it's been.
Glad we got to spend it together.
And it really is bizarre to be back here.
It really is.
We started here, and then we went to Pennsylvania, and then... Well, no, that's not how it went. We started here, and then we went to the mountains, and then your dad picked us up here.
Yeah.
And then we went down to Florida.
Florida.
It's a weird journey.
But hey, we're out of Florida. Thank God.
And we've seen everything.
State ever.
We've seen everything Florida has to offer. Pretty much. I mean,
for real.
We went to amusement parks. We went to springs. We went to
the beaches. The Keys.
Yeah, I mean,
Miami.
The shitty spots.
Okeechobee.
Yeah, we loved it. We were there in Okeechobee for 4 or 5 days. It seems like in total. Mm-hmm. But it was a unique Florida experience that didn't really follow a prescribed route or itinerary.
Because we're rebels.
Yeah, that's what I like. Anarchy. Rock on,
Yeah.
dude. Rock on. I'm doing the rock on. But yeah, I mean, it was a good use of time. I mean, it was better than staying at my parents' cabin for another month and a half or whatever. It was better than being in Pennsylvania.
I mean, we had no other plans.
Yeah, we did.
Winter really just puts a damper on everything. Like,
yeah,
and
it's hard to escape.
yeah, even with the van and stuff, like we could have stayed out west, but we had Charlie, and that was a disaster in and of itself.
Yeah, this whole thing has been, and I've been meaning to talk about this, and I mentioned it to my parents. Or
Charlie?
Maybe, no.
Oh. He was adopted, by the way,
Yeah.
for those that care. He's going to a loving home, and I'm really happy for him, and it really feels like a great match, and it matters a lot to me. But, yeah.
He has been adopted. Mm-hmm. Which is sort of sad, because we were talking about readopting him ourselves, but we'll see how well of a fit he actually is.
I mean, honestly, it's probably not the best for him. He's been through so much. He deserves a stable, loving home for the rest of his life, and to enjoy that. So
Yeah.
I think he has that.
I hope so.
I hope so too. And if not, they'll send him back to the agency, and then we'll get him. And he'll have an unstable life for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
We can't do that to him, so I think it'll be good.
But what I was going to say
Yeah.
is, since one of the primary goals of making a podcast like this is to make my life into a sort of narrative with direction and drama and like elements of a story, basically. And so it's interesting to me to think about the fact that, like, we have circumscribed the trajectory, the chronology, and sort of like the overarching story of my parents with all the stuff that we have done. You've met many, if not most, members of both of my parents' family. We've seen their childhood homes. We've seen where they met in Pensacola, Florida. We've gone through Tallahassee, where my dad lived, Wakulla Springs, Maclay High School, all these places. It feels like a very interesting, I sort of feel like
an Odyssey.
It does feel like an Odyssey. Yeah, and I feel like it's like the next step of my life is going to be projected from having, like, taken these paths. I don't know. We read the Odyssey when I studied Latin, in Latin. I think it was originally written in Greek, so some things were lost in translation. But anyway, it's just interesting to sort of retrace the steps of your forebears and then have that. It's sort of like how when you send us out, and this is actually a metaphor I've used before for us breaking up, but going in a different direction.
Which is not happening.
No, but with a different direction in that same metaphor. We've done all these things that my parents, interestingly, did. Or been around these areas. We've sort of consumed the energy and the vibe of these things. And it's sort of like going around the moon's gravity before being launched out. It's something familiar. It's something like traditional. Something.
Yeah. So
something known.
You've completed that now, and now it's time for you to create your own locations and places that mean a lot to you, and like grow into more of who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
And that's exciting.
Yeah. Let me check the broccoli.
Yeah. I find that, like, motivational.
Do you find it sexy?
Do you find me sexy, baby?
I think it's motivational because you've completed that step of the journey, and now you can use your creativity and ingenuity and resources to, like, build that for yourself, and not necessarily for your children, which aren't going to happen ever, and, like,
IUDs have an expiration date.
But you can always get a new one.
Roasted.
But, like, yeah, that's what I'm all about, and that's what I have always been about, is, like, creating your own journey and path and things that mean things to you. I don't know, I've never, like, felt that sense about my parents that I need to, like, dive deep into their history.
I never did really either. It's just
it just happened to
that
be
it
that
happened.
way. Yeah.
With the ouch.
Maybe it's symbolic, though.
I kind of feel like it is. And
yeah.
Even if it's not necessarily, I like to think of it because, humans. I think his name was like Victor Strangle or something. That's probably not his name. But there's this book. I don't remember who wrote it. I don't remember what it's about. I never read it. but it's called Man's Search for Meaning. And I think that, like, humans, obviously, we strive to understand things.
Yeah.
And to ascribe a narrative structure to
Yeah.
otherwise seemingly random events. And I just like to think that this journey, you know, starting on the AT, starting with, like, leaving my job, selling my house. I mean, I think in a certain way, I don't mean to...
Is that, like, hitting you now?
No. But it's just something that, like, it feels like a completed circle now that we've gone through Florida. And it's just interesting that everything that happened in Florida did happen in Florida, because it was sort of, again, going back to that metaphor of the bookend. It was the punctuation at the end of the sentence. Like, I kind of wonder, because I just don't know, you know, it was interesting when Compton sent that article about Nimble-Will Nomad. Yeah. And how his family, his children, they all hate him for, like, just, like, running away for his entire life. Yeah. After a certain point. And just thinking about how, you know, and you mentioned it a lot, too, where people who, like, try to just, like, their identity is so wrapped up in their hobbies, like hiking or biking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just interesting to think, in my mind, like, not to say that this has all been a phase or anything like that, but it certainly has been a chapter of my life. And I don't know, I mean, you know, eventually age and frailty will catch up with me, and I can't continue to do these kind of things. And so I kind of wonder if a new chapter of my life might be emerging where I'm not trying to do another long trail or another long bike ride. I mean, as much as
Is that what you want, though?
I don't really...
Do you feel sad that that might not be
something
on the horizon? Because we could do the PCT this year. Let's apply for permits right now. I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to do another thing like that. But I just know that I can't do it forever.
Right.
And so this trail, the fact that we didn't actually stick to it in a very strict way, as we did for the AT or for the Trans Am, like, it's just interesting to see that kind of that structure break down a little bit, where we made compromises because of...
We cheated.
Well, yeah, it was like we wanted comfort, we wanted stability, we wanted certainty.
Yeah.
And, like, I wasn't willing to drink shitty water, and I wasn't willing to, like, continue to walk. I think I put the opener back. I wasn't content to continue walking slowly when I knew that we could move faster on terrain that would be better. So maybe... Oh, it's actually behind you. She's trying to open a beer and she can't.
I can't. Help.
I mean, again, I believe more so in fate. So I don't really care so much about the free will aspect of it. I don't have regrets because I feel like things only happen in one way. And so I feel like you're in my life for a reason. And if you're leaning toward wanting to do something that's a little bit more stable...
Sustainable is the word that I would go for.
Well, but I don't know, because I feel like we shouldn't buy something, because then we can't do the PCT unless we really shuffle things around to, like, have, like, low come and live wherever we'd be living. Yeah. If we rented, then we could do something like that.
Can you rent land, though?
You can rent land, for sure.
Really?
I mean, I don't think that we would want to rent land, naked land. I think what we need to look for is land that's already been established for something, that already has something on it that we might like.
I mean, we can, like woof at locations for, like, 6 months at a time and continue traveling around, but just in, like, a slower pace. These are all secret plans that we talk about, and we're not buying a house, we're not settling down. I hate all of those words, so that's not going to happen.
Right.
That's not our intent, but there has been some discussions about what's in the future for a more sustainable lifestyle.
What we're doing right now is...
And something that we don't have to camp in sketchy locations and drink bad water all the time.
Well, I mean, no matter...
It would be nice.
No matter what we do, this lifestyle is not sustainable.
No.
I don't have enough money to do that for both of us, or for even me, for more than a few years at the most.
And I think, like, for who we are as people and what we desire for our mental health, at least for me, in my perspective, like, for my mental health, for my physical health, like, I don't want to keep eating ramen for, like, years and years as I through hike these trails and drink weird water and I might get Giardia or Lyme's disease. Like, I don't really want that. Yes, I want to have the adventure. Yes, I want to do, like, long trail accomplishments. The Triple Crown is something that I still have my eyes on, but, like, I don't have to do that right now. I'm young and, like...
Yeah, you're 22.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And what you were saying about the Florida Trail, as symbolic it was for you, I get that and I acknowledge that, but, like, for me it was just, like, a weird adventure that's over now, and I just happened to meet more of your family members, which was great, and they're very hospitable, and that's great. Well, but for me, it was one of those things where I found out what I did not want to do, which is through hike the Florida Trail, which honestly has never been something that has been, like, a passion of mine. Not something that I would ever, like, go and quit my job for and save up for. Like, I'm really glad that I found that out now before, like, I got into a position where I was committed to the Florida Trail. Yeah. So, it was fun enough.
Yeah, it definitely was.
It was so weird.
Yeah. We had some good times.
We did, though. Yeah,
we did, though.
And we did because we were together, and we were, like, in unison about our intentions for it and the way we would accomplish it.
Definitely.
Which was successful. Yeah. And it was weird. But, like, we're moving on, and I'm excited for what's next and what's in the future. And we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between you and me, I mean, I'm not trying to create a legacy or anything like that, but I am trying to, since I am taking an alternative path to my lifestyle, I am trying to make it mean something. And I think these podcasts are a big part of that. Because I've been podcasting for so long. And it was interesting listening to Dixon Janes recently, because he was talking about how, I mean, this is a theme he touches on a lot, where it's sort of, you know, he's closer to the end than he is the beginning. And so he's just, like, talking about how this is sort of the way that he encapsulates, like, meaning to the days that would otherwise not mean anything.
Right.
You know, it's slightly better, in my opinion, than having a journal or something that's a little bit more private. I like that these things are posted, they're out there, they're just waiting for people to hear, and, you know, whether they do or don't, it doesn't really matter to me, because I also enjoy listening to them. But it's just something I can only imagine listening to 10 years from now, and being like, wow, like, we have every adventure we've ever gone on, like, documented
that's
in
pretty
a way.
Cool.
I think it is.
I never
cool.
really actually thought about that.
Yeah.
You
just
talk
do it.
because you turn on the mic.
Yeah, the difference between you and me, I think, really is embodied in the fact that you didn't get your bra out of the van just now. Like, I'm very circumspect. I'm very OCD. I'm very particular. I'm very routine and habit driven, which is why I want to try to stop drinking every day. Because I feel like I don't know, I like to ascribe meaning to things. Like, I remember I studied philosophy in a religion class in college, and, like, there was this section of the curriculum where they were talking about how, like, people have, like, kind of lost, like, in America anyway, religion, despite whatever kind of person you might be, most people are largely, like, atheistic. Like, not necessarily atheists, but just, like, atheistic. Like, the majority of most people's lives does not revolve around what we're doing for worshiping or for, like, glorifying life or taking time to appreciate what you have. It's just, like, consumerism and capitalism. And I think the break...
Ultimate selfishness. People are so self-absorbed.
Yeah, but they can't even help it. Because capitalism kind of depends on that.
Yeah.
Because people were
and that's the way our nation is structured.
Yeah, and there's
our world.
There's too many people in America, and there's too much... It's too big for it to be a good country. I mean, it was a good idea. We're only 200 years old. But honestly, other countries... that are smaller, which are the vast majority of them, population size or land mass included, they have a better ability to, like, make a standard of living that is a little bit more sustainable and a little bit more conscientious. Whereas America is just so big, like, no one has to care about anything except for themselves, and you don't get blamed for that. Like, because everyone feels the same way. Like, if there's one characteristic that all Americans share, it's probably selfishness.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have for a long time, since being in high school and being downstairs in this house watching Japanese dramas, doing push-ups and trying to like make my body better before I discovered alcohol and other substances. I felt like I was divorcing myself from that for a long time. And I think that this lifestyle that we're living now is a healthy like option for getting away from all of that.
Yeah.
But, I think something more sustainable, something more attainable, if we can do something where we feel like we're not only doing something good for ourselves, but doing something good for our community.
And the earth.
Yeah.
Honeybees.
Honeybees.
Gardening.
Yeah, there's a lot of
goats.
good stuff we could be doing.
Special needs dogs fostering.
Diapers, yeah.
Yeah. You got very political with that, but I was going to make a comment that you always say these definitive statements about, like, this is the difference between you and I. And I get that, and you're very introspective, and that's the way that you think. But I'm just here, man. Like, I'm just, like, going through these adventures and these phases and having fun and not having fun and learning what I like and don't like. I'm still, like, discovering so much about myself, and I don't really think about it that much. I just show up and try to chill. Go with the flow. It's not a big deal to me. I don't have these thoughts where I'm like,
this needs to mean
this
something.
is my trajectory. Like, I need to know what my life is about. Like, I don't worry about that. I just know what I like and I don't like, and I want to pursue what makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's my naivety in my youth. Maybe that's just like the way I am. Maybe it's the difference between you and I. I don't know. But
it's a healthy balance between the two of us, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think
I help you chill, and you help me think.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather than being a sheep.
Yeah, you don't even have an iPhone anymore.
No.
It's a huge change. I mean, there's a lot to all of this, and it is deeper than it appears, for sure. And that's
But it's also not, though, because we're like fucking part of 2 in 7 billion people on this planet that we are destroying actively every time we eat McDonald's, every time we drive our car, every time we shop at a grocery store. Like, man, the waste and the consumerism, that gets to me. And so I'm just excited to get to a point where we can be like a little more self-sustaining and like live intentionally, where we can do good for the earth that deserves everything. Humanity should really be more focused on that, I think, in my opinion, and just like the animals and plants that deserve to be here so much more than we do, because they're not selfish and they're not self-absorbed. They're just trying to further their species and eat what the earth has provided, and I want to get back to like more of a primal state. So that's my intention going forward with all of this as we hop into our 1994 like van that emits so many greenhouse gases, and it's fine, but like, I don't know, I'm just here. I don't think about all this, but I appreciate that you do, and now it's recorded for you to listen when you're 60 years old, sitting in your rocking chair pondering about your life.
That girl was so hot.
What are you doing?
I'm just going to put this on here to warm it up a little bit.
Alright. But yeah, y'all, that's the Florida Trail.
It makes you think.
It does.
All of it does.
All of it does. Even everybody that's like out there working a job and like just doing normal life, getting married, having babies, like I feel like everyone thinks about this kind of stuff. It's just a matter of how seriously you take it and what actions you're going to do.
That's the biggest thing.
Like how are you going to change it if you're not happy with it, or if you're not, I don't know.
Yeah, satisfied. I mean...
Yeah. I mean, we can't get away from the fact that we're speaking from privilege at this point, because we have the opportunity to go and pursue what makes us happy. And, like, there's so many people that can't do that, and they're trapped in their situation, and they have to work jobs because that's, like, how you function in America, and we're a very small exception. I wouldn't say we're part of the 1%.
No.
But you should turn that back on. But yeah, because like I learned a lot from this trip too. in the sense of like identifying with the homeless and having more compassion for the homeless because we were treated as such.
Yeah.
I feel like almost through the entirety of Florida, aside from the hotels we stayed at and the campgrounds we stayed at, like other than that, when we were camping like in sketchy places, we were treated as homeless and we were nuisances and they wanted to get rid of us and we were a problem. So it definitely gave me a lot more compassion for the homeless of America.
Mm-hmm.
Those that are mentally stable and those that aren't. Like,
yeah, we've seen them both.
Yeah, it's really not their choice.
The McDonald's in Pensacola. I mean,
yeah,
there were so many people who showed up who were homeless. At least 5.
And they like, I wouldn't say targeted, but they saw us sitting under the pavilion to stay out of the rain with our bikes on the side, and they asked us for the inside details about how to get food and if you can go inside or not, and we delivered the information, but we had those interactions and I was just like, man, this is their life.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
It is.
God bless them.
Yeah, ideally.
Yeah. But like, man, don't treat them as pests that need to be rid of, because that's so inhumane and it's so, man. Yeah.
It's not what Jesus wants.
I don't think it's what, like, anyone should want. Like, I just keep thinking about that guy that kicked us out of the baseball field, and he came back the next morning, he was like, shit, they're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man,
Shit.
Are you serious? This is how you look at other human beings? I wish I would have just said to him, like, stop treating them like pests. That's so inhumane. I wish I just said those 2 sentences. It wouldn't have mattered. He wouldn't have cared. He would have been mad at me either way.
You were
But, like,
gone,
I was gone because I was scared of him. Which is also the thing, too. Like, a lot of them are living in fear of, like, their safety and their physical health and their financial status and stuff like that, which they don't even have in the first place. Like, man, like, I don't know. I don't even think I learned anything that was, like, advice to give to people in their dealings with the homeless, but, like, I don't know. It gave me an inside perspective, I think.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because I've been to, like, third world countries, and I definitely had compassion, and it was religiously motivated, which I think skews it a little bit, because, like, I don't know. Maybe they're not good on Earth, but maybe they'll have a secure eternity, whatever.
Damn.
But, like, I don't know. Just treat people well, and don't run them over with your cars. So, yeah. Takeaways from the Florida Trail. Homeless people are not pests, because we are one of them. Drive slower, because you kill animals. Speed kills.
Yeah.
Florida is weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And that's about it for me.
And yeah, it's a late dinner for us.
Yeah. What
It's
time
almost
is it?
10 o'clock.
Damn.
9:50.
No.
Yeah.
But also it's 8:50. Or, yeah. 'Cause
Well, kind of for us.
we were in Central Time for like
a couple days.
Oh no! Oh no!
no!
Kenneth's cooking show. Back on air.
Yes.
Tell us what just happened.
The pot overboiled.
Oh, boiled over.
It boiled over.
It overboiled. Lol.
But yeah, I would still say, if you have an inclination to go out and do something, follow that inclination. If it means not getting married, not buying a house, not having children.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, experiment a little bit with what your gut is telling you.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in fate. Free will is an illusion caused by cognition being overlaid on reality.
Nice.
And
hey, if that dream is the Florida Trail, fucking do it.
Or don't.
See what you learn.
There's some better trails out there.
There definitely is. If you're in it for the wilderness experience, do not do the Florida Trail. Or if you're in it to, like, have fun, don't do the Florida Trail.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was the Florida Trail.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Anything else?
Not really.
End scene.
Bye.
Bye.